Hello, and welcome to Coaching Corner with me, Tracy Forsyth. So today's Coaching Corner is about how and why it's good to reframe failure. Now, so like most self-critical overachievers, I have in the past, because I now like to think of myself as a happy overachiever, but in the past, I have done my fair share of kicking myself when I've made a mistake or wallowing in the sometimes excruciating after effects of putting my foot in it, or feeling despondent when things haven't worked out how I wanted them to. And over the last 3 years, as I've transitioned from a TV career to setting up my own coaching business, there has been a lot of trial and error and quite a bit of putting lots of energy into something only to see the results seemingly fall flat. But, you got to kiss a lot of toads before you find your handsome prince. So don't all shout at once about how outdated that line is. I know. But in my journey, I think I've developed new wisdom, and I've realized that even when things didn't fly straight away, those things still had wings elsewhere, further down the line, or they gave birth to new chicklings in due course. Yes, I do love to stretch a metaphor. But what I've realized is this: failure is just development in disguise. So what do I mean? Well, just because something doesn't work out the first time doesn't mean it's no good. It might be timing. It might be that not enough people hear about it or know about it, or you. It might be many factors outside of your current control. So understand those reasons and, if necessary, adapt accordingly. It might not be. You might not want to adapt. You might not need adapting. It might just be a timing thing. Just try again. Now, most ideas, I think, are worth iterating and reiterating. It's just called developing something. So I just saw that Apple will no longer be producing the iPod. Now, hands up who had one of those back in the day. And how exciting was that? Well, take heart from somebody like a company like Apple. They created something. It worked for 20 years. And then something else got developed that worked better because the world had moved on. So just get used to iterating and reiterating as just a matter of course. So failure can be a way of learning what you don't know enough of yet, and give you a clear idea on what to work on. So, for example, if you don't get a role because somebody else had more experience than you, then bingo, you have a clear focus. Get the relevant experience. So failure, of course, can just mean one door closing and another one opening. And when you think back, how different would your life be if you always got what you wanted when you wanted it? You wouldn't have had the same journey or ended up in the same place. So that can go both ways, right? It can be positive or negative. But how many times have you said, thank heavens that didn't happen? I would have been miserable. Thank heavens, I don't know. Thank heavens I didn't go out with that person, or whatever it is, jobs, houses, countries to live in. Often we say that, thank heavens something didn't happen. So I think we should develop a different perspective on failure. Don't think of it, or try not to think of it, as a negative. Think of it as a natural part of development and growth. Expect it. Embrace it. I think if you understand the bumps, the ups and downs, the twists and turns as part of the journey, then it won't feel so painful. So the next time you fail, otherwise known as develop, ask yourself, what's important to me in this experience? What am I able to take away? What have I learned? How do I want to develop from here? And what's opening up to me as a result? So have courage, my friends. I think we learn as much, if not more, from our so-called failures than we do our successes. You think about most Hollywood movies, the protagonist has a tough time somewhere in the story, but when all the chips are down, that's when they learn the most and find the most strength and really transform. So fail fearlessly and develop. And as always, if you need any help on your development, your career journey, your growth, or anything, like that, then give me a call. Take care. And that is it for this week's Coaching Corner. And I will see you again next week.